On January 19, 2026, Americans celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This is a federal holiday for a great civil rights leader. Across the country, people had parades and made speeches. Many also did community service, helping others. It was a day to remember King's life and his big ideas about nonviolent change. But during these events, a quiet question was also there. People wondered if America had truly moved forward, or was the day just a tradition, an empty act, celebrating a dream that was not yet real? This book will look at this important question. It will explore the space between King's hopes for America and what modern America looks like. Martin Luther King Jr. worked hard against three main problems. He called them the triple evils: racism, poverty, and violence. He believed these issues stopped people from being free and fair. This story will show how King fought against these big problems. We will see how his fight changed and grew. It became a challenge to the most powerful groups in the country. His actions put him in great danger, but he kept fighting for his vision of equality. To truly understand why this day in 2026 matters so much, we must first go back in time. We need to meet Martin Luther King Jr. when he was a young man. What things shaped his early life? How did growing up in a segregated America, where laws kept people apart, make him who he was?
What was the one important event that started him on his path to change the world? We will explore these beginnings to see how his destiny was lit. A leader is made. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1929 in his family home. His birth name was Michael, but it was changed to Martin Luther when he was about 6 years old. His father was a respected Baptist minister, and his mother was a former schoolteacher. Young Martin grew up in a city where life was very unfair due to segregation. Jim Crow laws were strict rules that kept white and black people apart. Everything was segregated: schools, restaurants, water fountains, and even public buses. He often saw these unjust rules with his own eyes. In 1936, he watched his father lead a march of many black people to protest the unfair voting rules in Atlanta. This early experience showed him that people could stand up against injustice. He was a very bright student and went to Morehouse College at just 15 years old. While there, he first thought about working in medicine or law. But during his final year, he decided to follow his father and become a minister. The college president, Benjamin Mays, became an important mentor. Mays believed that churches should work for social change, not just spiritual matters. This idea greatly shaped King's understanding of his role in the world. After graduating from Morehouse in 1948, King continued his education at Crozer Theological Seminary. He was only one of a few black students, but was elected president of his class. He earned his Bachelor of Divinity degree in 1951. Then he moved to Boston University for more studies, where he met Coretta Scott, who became his wife. These years of deep study helped him form his powerful philosophy of nonviolence. He became convinced that peaceful protest could bring about big changes. Although a calm life as a church leader appealed to him, a stronger calling grew within. He felt a deep need to fight for fairness and equality for all. He saw the deep wrongs in America and knew he had to act. In 1954, at 25 years old, Dr. King became the new pastor at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. He was ready to guide his congregation. He did not know then that a simple, brave act by a black seamstress on a city bus would soon change his life forever. This event would quickly make him a national figure and ignite the modern civil rights movement. The boycott. On December 1st, 1955, a seamstress named Rosa Parks refused to give up her bus seat in Montgomery, Alabama. This simple act broke local Jim Crow laws, which separated black and white people. Her arrest made the city's black community angry.
They decided to stop riding buses. This started the Montgomery bus boycott. Martin Luther King Jr. was a young 26-year-old pastor at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. The community chose him to lead the Montgomery Improvement Association, guiding the boycott. This was a big task for the new leader. The boycott was very hard and lasted 382 days. For over a year, black citizens walked, rode bikes, or shared rides instead of using the buses. This put a lot of pressure on the city, but it also brought great danger to King and his family. His home was bombed twice, and he received many threats to his life. Despite these scary events, King never gave up. He stayed strong and committed to nonviolence, a path he learned from Mahatma Gandhi. He taught people to protest peacefully, even when others were violent towards them. His courage during this difficult time inspired many. Finally, on December 21st, 1956, the U.S. Supreme Court made an important decision. It said that laws forcing segregation on buses were against the country's main law. This meant the boycott was a success. Black and white people could now sit anywhere on the bus. The Montgomery bus boycott showed that nonviolent protest could win big changes. But King knew this was just one victory in one city. To truly end segregation, he would have to fight in even tougher places.
His next challenge would be in a city so known for violence that people called it Birmingham. 4. The Big Fights. In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. went to Birmingham, Alabama. This city was very segregated. Black people faced much unfairness. King and his group, the SCLC, started a campaign there. They wanted to end segregation. Police met the peaceful protesters with great force. People around the world watched. They saw police dogs attack people. They saw strong water hoses used against children and adults. These images made many people angry and sad. They showed how bad segregation was. During this time, King was put in jail for protesting. While in his jail cell, he read a newspaper. Some white church leaders said his protests were wrong. They said people should wait for change. In response, King wrote a very important letter. It is called Letter from Birmingham Jail. In it, he wrote that wait often meant never. He explained that some laws are unfair and people have a right to protest them peacefully. He said that people cannot wait forever for justice. After the events in Birmingham, a huge event happened in Washington, D.C. On August 28, 1963, over 250,000 people came together. This was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. People came from all over the country. They wanted fair jobs and equal rights. Dr. King stood at the Lincoln Memorial. He gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech.
He spoke about his hope for America's future. He dreamed of a time when children would be judged by their good character, not by the color of their skin. He pictured black and white people living together in peace. His words touched the hearts of many Americans. This speech became a very important moment in history. The March on Washington and King's powerful speech helped many people support civil rights. These big fights showed the world the need for change. Soon after, new laws were passed to protect people's rights. King's courage and message made him known around the world. He would soon win the Nobel Peace Prize for his work. But King's ideas began to grow. He started to think about more than just segregation. He wanted to fight against poverty and war, too. This bigger fight would cause some of his supporters to turn against him, making powerful allies into dangerous enemies. 5. A new goal. After the important Civil Rights Act was passed, Dr. King's work changed. He saw that racial segregation was just one part of bigger problems. He understood that racism, poverty, and violence were all connected in America. He called these the triple evils and knew he had to fight them all. In April 1967, King began speaking against the Vietnam War. He gave a famous speech, Beyond Vietnam, saying the United States was a major source of violence. Many people did not like this new focus. News media criticized him.
This also caused problems with President Johnson's government. Many of his supporters felt he should stay focused only on civil rights. But King believed his Nobel Peace Prize meant he had to speak for peace everywhere. King also started the Poor People's Campaign. This was a big plan to bring together poor Americans of all races. They planned to march to Washington, D.C. to ask for economic justice. They wanted fair jobs, better wages, and an economic Bill of Rights. King saw this as a direct fight against poverty. Because of these new goals, King became more and more alone. Many who supported him before now felt he was going too far. Even some friends and civil rights groups did not agree with his strong views on the war and poverty. The government also did not like his new positions. King was sure that all unfairness was linked. To show this, he would soon join a struggle for basic human rights in Selma, Alabama. In Selma, many black citizens could not vote. This fight for justice was about to become one of the most violent battles of that time. 6. The Last Days. In early 1965, Dr. King went to Selma, Alabama. There, black citizens faced big problems trying to register to vote. On March 7, 1965, a terrible day happened, known as Bloody Sunday. About 600 people tried to march from Selma to Montgomery.
When they crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, state troopers and local police attacked them with clubs and tear gas. Pictures and news of this violence shocked the country. Many people felt angry and sad. This national outcry made President Lyndon B. Johnson act. He asked Congress to pass a strong new law. On August 6, 1965, the Voting Rights Act became law. This act protected the right for all black Americans to vote, removing many unfair rules. It was a huge victory for civil rights. After this, King continued to fight for all people who were struggling. He believed that poverty and economic problems were also big injustices. In early 1968, sanitation workers in Memphis, Tennessee, went on strike. These workers, mostly black men, walked off their jobs after 2 co-workers died in an accident. They wanted better pay, safer working conditions, and for their union to be recognized. King saw their struggle as part of his bigger plan, the Poor People's Campaign. He traveled to Memphis to show his support and help the workers. King gave powerful speeches in Memphis. He told people not to give up hope. On April 3, 1968, he gave his final speech. It was at Mason Temple and was called "I've Been to the Mountaintop." In it, he spoke about seeing a promised land of freedom and justice.
He said that he might not reach it with his followers, but he knew they, as a people, would get there. It was a hopeful yet sad speech, full of deep meaning about the future. The very next evening, on April 4, 1968, tragedy struck. Dr. King was standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis. He was shot and died at just 39 years old. His sudden death shocked not only America, but the entire world. Many who opposed his work might have thought they had silenced his voice and stopped his movement, but they were wrong. King's death did not end the fight for justice. Instead, it lit a new fire. It began a new, long struggle, not just for a law, but for his whole legacy and everything he believed in. This fight would last for decades. 7. A day to remember. After Martin Luther King Jr.'s death, there was a long fight to make his birthday a national holiday. Representative John Conyers first introduced a bill in Congress in 1968. The idea faced strong resistance. Some said a new paid federal holiday would cost too much. Others believed a private citizen should not have a national holiday. A bill failed in Congress in 1979. However, King's wife, Coretta Scott King, led the fight for 15 years, with help from many groups. Finally, in 1983, the U.S. Congress passed the law.
President Ronald Reagan signed the King Holiday Bill. The first official Martin Luther King Jr. Day was celebrated in 1986. It took until 2000 for all 50 states to observe it. In 1994, President Bill Clinton made it a national day of service. Today, in 2026, Americans observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day on January 19th. People join marches, do community service, and attend special events nationwide. In Atlanta, a big service is held at the Ebenezer Baptist Church, where King once served. During these events, speakers talk about King's important ideas and the work that still needs to be done. His daughter, Bernice A. King, spoke of a moral crisis in the country. His eldest son, Martin Luther King III, noted that the problems King fought against, racism, poverty, and violence, are still present. The holiday is now an important part of the nation's calendar, but a key question remains. Is America truly honoring the radical man who wanted big changes for justice and peace? Or is it remembering only a simpler, more comfortable idea of his dream, one that ignores his tougher messages about economic unfairness and war? This question stays with people as they mark the day. The 8th section, the work today. In 2026, on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Americans remembered King's life and his brave fight. But this special day also made people think deeply about the unfinished work.
King wanted to end 3 big problems he called the triple evils: racism, poverty, and violence. Many people still ask if America has made true progress or if these problems are still present. King's own son, Martin Luther King III, has said that these triple evils remain serious concerns today. We can still see racism in many forms. Economic inequality is also a large problem. There are still very big differences in wealth between different racial groups. This shows that fair chances for everyone to get ahead are not yet a reality. Rules about voting are another area where King's work continues. Many states have made new laws that some say make it harder for minority groups to vote. In the justice system, problems also continue. Black Americans are still put in jail at higher rates than white Americans. These issues show that King's dream of equal justice for all citizens is not yet fully here. King dreamed of a beloved community. This was a society built on justice, equal opportunities, and love for all people. This important vision is still a goal, not something fully reached. King's legacy is not just a story from the past to look at once a year. It is a living, strong challenge for people right now. It asks everyone to face the unfairness in their own communities. It asks them to think about what they can do to help King's dream come true. The national holiday helps us remember King's leadership and sacrifices.
It shows that his ideas are still very important for our country. But we must ask ourselves, how can we truly honor his memory? Is it only by celebrating a day, or by working every day to make his vision of real equality and dignity for all people a reality? The work that King started is far from over. It is a task for every new generation to continue. What do you think is the most important part of King's dream that we still need to work on today to make America a truly just nation?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.